Okay, let's try something different.
What's going on, guys? Look where we are. This is our office for today. We are up at Top End Dragway up in Fargo, North Dakota, or Glendon, Minnesota, actually, technically. We're here for a Drift 101 day. It'll kind of get some fine-tuning skills on this sport. Currently, we're in line. We're doing some donuts and stuff. We got Ethan is our instructor for this part, and there's just a cone out here we're doing donuts around. So far, other than initially because it's raining, I wasn't sure how much throttle to give it to snap it into a drift. But after we got that going, the car, wow, the car just like with the angle kit and everything, it just feels really like it's supposed to do it. It just feels really natural in this car. So the BMW that I had before was pretty good at just doing figure eights and stuff too. But this felt really good. I felt like I had good grip. Yeah, I just really liked it. So I'm excited to like go through this day and progress and see how things go. There's a lot of people out here that haven't done this before. The instructors so far have been really good about answering any questions and pointing out what things somebody might be doing wrong to help them do better. Yeah, so we're gonna keep going throughout the day. I'm gonna get as much footage as I can for you guys out here, and eventually by the end of the day, I guess we're supposed to have the whole course open to hopefully be able to drift this whole thing. So I'm really excited for that. Looks like the rain's finally letting up, which is awesome because it rained the entire way here. So hopefully the course starts to dry up a little bit. See the BMW out there doing some donuts right now. Looks like he's doing pretty good. And another C6 Corvette. We got a 350Z. I talked to the guy in this Mustang. Apparently it makes like 610 horse, which is insane, especially when it's wet like this. But yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna be a fun day. This is well worth the money and the time to drive up here from Brainerd. So, all right, guys, let's get to practicing.
First time looked real good. I know you know how to drive. Absolutely, looks like left-handers were your better.
I just tried that first, kind of what everybody else is doing. I can try the right.
Ahead, do left-handers.
Okay.
And if you do 2 or 3, switch it around to right-handers.
Okay.
Okay.
Drill we're doing is just donuts around this one pointer cone here, like you see this BRZ doing. 86, sorry. He's doing pretty good. First one there, had it going, and then it bit a little bit in the front. It's starting to dry up a little bit. I think maybe it was playing a little bit of factor with that. Drifter excuses, you know. And then I went on the grass just a touch, and then went back out, and then it was fine. Like I just gave it more throttle. So I was trying to not overdo it and spin out, but yeah, I like the grip of this thing. It's pretty predictable once you know that it does have pretty good grip. So I go out take our turn again and keep practicing this. Seems like my right-handers are a little bit harder to do than my left, so I'll probably keep working on the right-handers and see how this keeps going. And I think soon we'll do figure eights, he said, so. Oh, we got it going down. Plus 2 seconds, sir. The donuts. Now we're moving to what I fear is the figure eights. I always kind of hit or miss this in the other cars I've driven, so we'll see how the C5, how Wally does. The donuts went really well. I mean, the car seems super predictable. Just the very first run, I wasn't sure how much throttle to stab it with to get it to break loose, and then how much it was going to take to keep it going. This is my first time driving this car at any kind of drift event. But so far I'm really liking it. I can't wait to see how these figure eights go. The instructor told us to try and introduce some left foot braking, which I've always wondered how the car would react, how any car would react. So I'm going to give that a try and see. He says it kind of like helps slow things down so you can control the drift more. So I'm going to give that a try when we go here on the figure eight and see how that goes. We're just waiting for a few of these other cars to go, and then we'll get our shot at it. So now time for the figure eights. Woo! Having a blast so far though. These guys are awesome. They're super accommodating. They're really helpful. They're nice. They don't judge anybody. If you haven't done this before, it's definitely a good way to come out and learn how to drive your car and how to drift your car. So definitely recommend it so far, and I've only been here for like an hour and a half. Loving it. So let's get back to the figure eights. try and introduce some left foot brake while you're in the slide, and mind blown. The best way to describe it is it just like stops time. It just like slows everything down if you can just give it a little left foot brake while keeping on the throttle while you're in the spin or in the drift. It's crazy. I've always wondered kind of like what left foot braking did. Heard about drifters doing it, and now I guess I kind of understand, is it helps, like, you can maintain the slide if you give it like a little bit more throttle, but if you introduce a little bit left foot brake, it like slows you down a little bit. So I'm assuming like when people are tandeming, they're using a lot of left foot brake, which would take some practice, I feel like, because that's a lot of like, I feel like I would panic and do the wrong thing or do too much or maybe not enough. But it was really cool. It was really cool to see finally what left foot braking does while you're drifting, and it's pretty insane. My first one, weirdly enough, was my best one. I literally like got the car in such a good spot where I could just literally like slowly do the figure eights. It was awesome. And then I don't know if it's just because with all the other drivers going, it's drying up more now maybe, and it's getting more and more grip, so maybe I need to increase the tire pressure or just give it more throttle. But yeah, so figure eights are going a lot better than I thought. I've only like spun out once, so I haven't killed any cones yet. I did kill the car once because I was on the left foot on the brake and forgot to go back to the clutch quickly enough. So, but no big deal. Car fired right back up, and we kept going. So I'm guessing we're probably going to do 1 or 2 more of these before our lunch break. So we'll keep practicing these figure eights for you guys. Alright guys, it's after lunch break, and now we're working on our initiations. So down there, I don't know how well you can see, there's 3 regular traffic cones and then a tall pylon. Basically you get some speed and you try and initiate before the tall cone to go drift around it, and then there's a couple shutdown cones just after, just enough to get an initiation and get the car sliding, but then shut it down safely. So the first 2 we did a clutch kick. The 3rd one, they wanted me to try a feint entry, which is basically where you unsettle the car one way and go back the other way and stab the throttle. It actually worked better than I thought, so I think I'm going to try to continue using the feint ones, just because it's not as hard on the clutch, and I mean, why not use the weight shifted to your advantage? So yep, so far it's going good. I like it. It's a little bit different. I'm only doing first gear. I've been debating on going into second, but I don't know. Until they tell me to do second, I think I'll keep doing first. So the car's doing well. The temps are staying down. It is a pretty cool day, thankfully. But yeah, this is going really well. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm learning some stuff. I love the way this car drives, and we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep sending it.
So we're just doing initiation here. Try to be initiated by the tall cone. There's 2 small shutdown cones there. Regain control of the car by this point.
Okay.
Circle back around, hop in line.
Okay.
We'll try feints, clutch kicks. We'll try a couple things here.
All right. work as well as it did.
Yeah, and it carries a lot of momentum for the car. So
Yeah.
I would give that a try, and then keep working with what you're not comfortable with. We'll try to get you comfortable with that.
I actually I feel like that's probably easier on the car too without stabbing the clutch. So.
It is, yeah, it's pretty easy. So,
Okay.
yeah, just hang out to the left of the lane. You can use more of the lane as well. I noticed you had a very small one. You're able to kind of use a little bit more of it.
Okay.
Create drift.
All right. Just wants to keep sliding. Tried to go wider that time. I don't know if I did.
Yeah.
Did it? Okay.
Give it a go.
All right. Is a lot of people sticking to first gear? I see some using second. Like, what's
Second is probably where you...
okay?
and first gear might be long enough in this, but I would say second is probably where
I'm gonna try second this time just to see how it reacts. I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's gonna be different than first.
Absolutely.
So, okay. You good? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't run them over. So it worked fine. Okay. It wasn't as hard as I thought. It wanted to keep drifting even more. Holy hell. Man, I'm so glad I got this thing. It just works. Same thing, but right?
Same thing, right hand turn.
Baby just wants to keep going. It's probably more disturbing and disrupting in the car, stopping it from a drift than it is if I were to just continue carrying it through. But just following the instructions of the instructors is all. Don't want to get any of these guys mad. I think they're here on their day off, helping us noobs learn how to do this. So everybody's doing pretty good. I feel like that I can see. You know, these guys are picking up on things. Yeah, this is really fun.
Go ahead.
God, I love that. Just throw it. Well, as you can probably tell by my hairdo, and I just killed my car. Not sure how. It's getting warmer, track's getting drier, there's more grip. We are now doing a full corner drift. To me it seems more like 3/4, but it's pretty much a full corner. So, you know, I'm doing a feint entry. I'm not clutch kicking it. This car doesn't really need to be clutch kicked, which is nice. Yeah, so now we're just doing a single corner drift. We're going to the left right now. Then we'll switch and do a right after probably 5-6 runs. Yeah, buddy. I really do think you guys are right. Once you just start doing this, it does seem like just way easier.
What's that?
Just doing this instead of like the stuff this morning, like you said.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's because
I don't know
once you
what
get
it is.
set, you're just there.
Right.
You're just kind of steering, correcting. That other shit is just to teach little bits.
Right.
Go ahead.
Whew. Almost got it. I didn't get his code, so.
Go ahead.
might be too much throttle or something, I get wide towards the end and I'm about to catch the grass every time.
Yep.
So
Yep.
will that braking help that, you think, too, maybe?
It might.
Okay.
I'll have to see. Everything's a little different, but
Right.
yeah, give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot,
Go
see what
ahead.
happens. All right. Hell yeah! That was sick! Woo! Oh my god! Why haven't I done this so long ago? It's so good. Holy fuck. Why I didn't even think of that. Why wouldn't I have used left foot braking there? Dude, it slows it down. It's crazy. And it doesn't take much. Like just a little dab of left brake and it's like everything kind of slows down and you can steer the car way more. Insane what left foot braking does. Oh my god. Shutdown's in the same spot, right?
Shutdown's in the same spot.
Okay. Part of the day I have been waiting for, and that is we're adding the third corner to our routine here, our drill. We've been doing 2 corners just now. The rain's made it a little bit tougher to sometimes not oversend the second transition, but I think maybe with the third one being there, because I feel like the car does want to go back the other way and carry the drift again, we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna see how it goes. So I'm gonna go for all 3 corners and get as much practice in as I can right now. That's what we're here for, right? So going for 2 transitions, 3 corners, and no walls. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, all 3 corners, woo! I don't think I could be happier with how today is going, minus the rain, which, in all honesty, maybe it's helping a little bit. You know, it's saving on the tires. It's good practice to know how to drive in the rain, too. So, I mean, I guess there's that. But, man, first day driving this car, like, I took it to work one time just to drive it on the street to make sure there was no weird noises, no weird clunks. Made sure the alignment was good. We did double check that and reset the toe on it. Raised it up a little bit, changed all the fluids, put a different radiator in it because that one was cracked. And it's been solid all day. Like 203 oil temps. Granted, it's only, it says 73 outside and the rain's gonna help keep it cool, but coolant temps never went over 200 that I've seen so far. Oil temps were like 222 earlier when we were doing like the drifting and the donuts. So you weren't getting a lot of airflow. You were constantly revving the crap out of the car. So, but man, I cannot say how happy I am with this car. It is insane how well it works with the angle kit and the power it makes. Like, it probably doesn't even need this power, but it's just awesome that it has it. So it's there when you need it or if you want it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Anybody wants to try this out, you guys got to hit these guys up for one of these Drift 101s. They build you up and they link all these things together, and by the end of the day, like we are right now, we're drifting 3 corners in the course, you know. It's awesome. I love it. It's so much fun. These guys do a great job. And I can't wait to come back tomorrow and hone my skills down some more. And there's supposed to be a 0% chance of rain all day. So hopefully no rain, and we can get some dry seat time and drive with some of my friends that are coming tomorrow that already drift. So yeah, super happy. Super happy with how today has gone. And I can't wait for more tomorrow. We'll do a little in-car footage. See if this view gives you guys an idea of what's happening. Good? Here we go. Drift 102 course up at Top Interstate Dragway and Fargo, North Dakota Drift. Looks like we're just waiting for everybody to grid up. We're letting the car warm up right now. We checked everything over quick. Everything did good yesterday. Today is drier. There's no rain. It did rain heavy all night last night, but the course has a couple water spots in the low spots in the course, but otherwise it's nice and dry. So I'm excited to see what the car does with actual grip today. Today is going to be the real test of how this thing does, being now this dry grip. Running in the rain all day yesterday was kind of an easy button. Some may disagree with that, I don't know. Driving in the rain is challenging. You know, it obviously takes some skill to do that too. But it went well. We're gonna see how today goes, see how the C5 does. Yesterday was flawless. I hope for another good day. We're just gonna keep close eye on the temps, make sure it stays cool. It is supposed to be about 80 today, or yesterday I don't think I got much over 65 and it was raining. I do have a water jug to cool things down if I need. We can also drive on the drag strip and return road to get the car cool, get some air over the radiator and stuff. We may have to do that a few times today as well. But we're gonna keep letting the car get warmed up. Looks like we got about a few more cars getting grid, and then we're gonna start with 2 corners today in the same layout we finished yesterday, and then they're gonna add the 3rd corner. They said about, I don't know, after we do like 4 or 5 runs or something like that, I think. So here we go, guys. Day 2, Drift 102. We got dry track today. I'm excited.
styled.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are back home after the weekend up in Fargo for the Drift 101 102 this weekend. It was a fucking really badass weekend. I had probably the best time I've had in a car in a long time. Dealing with the instructors who were super helpful on breaking down how to do the different steps into the whole sport of drifting were super awesome. A big thanks to Ethan and Darren for taking their time all weekend to help us new guys learn this sport and get better, honing in our skills in our cars to be able to, by the end of the day, Saturday, even with the rain, do a, I guess, full course. We called it 3 transition, 3 corner drift course. I was super excited that by the end of the weekend I was able to do that, or by the end of the day, Saturday even. And then we stayed Sunday for the Drift 102, which was basically a course for people to kind of like sharpen their skills and take everything they've learned either in past drift events or just a little bit of experience they've had, or from the Drift 101 that we did, and fine tune those skills and get even more seat time and practice even more. So it was a blast. I would totally recommend it to anybody that is new to drifting or wants to get into it. You know, get a car that's pretty well set up, and you're comfortable with, and and take it up there and do it. You know, these guys, they break down sections. You know, we started with just a simple donut, working on whatever your hardest way to do that was, left or right. Then we broke it down into figure eights, And then we started just an initiation where you initiated around a cone, and then you had a quick shutdown right after, and you went back in line and did it again. You practiced that. You practiced it with clutch kicking was a way to initiate. Feinting, they call it, where you kind of like start in one lane, you swoop way out, and you offset the car's weight balance and the weight transfer to use that as your advantage to drift the car around your initiation point, which worked really well actually in Wally, the C5 Vet that we have. I think then next we just started on like a single corner drift, and then we did a 2-corner drift, and finally at the end of the day we did a 3-corner drift, and then got back in line and kept doing it, you know. Even with the rain, which actually was good experience to drive in, to learn how to drift in the rain, how to control that throttle so you don't constantly spin out in the car. It is crucial to know that. And I think we did pretty well. You know, I got a few compliments from the instructors, which were awesome to hear. I mean, I do have a ton of seat time in Corvettes with my own customers' cars, out of the track, just whatever. And just in general in racing, you know, 10 years of doing autocross and time attack and standing start and stuff like that. These events that we do in these cars that, you know, we know what we need to feel in the car, and when things don't feel right, when to let off or etc. So big thanks again to the instructors up in Fargo at Top End Dragway. Ethan and Darren, those guys were amazing. I thank you guys a lot. I would definitely recommend this to anybody that wants to get into drifting or just wants to maybe fine-tune their skills, and maybe they were taught wrong or weren't really taught at all, and they just were kind of thrown into it and aren't sure of what things they're doing wrong. This is a great way to find those things and fine-tune them and break those habits before they become a bad habit, and learn a couple new things like we did. Like, I've always wondered in drifting what the whole left foot braking thing was for. And in Ethan, when we went to the figure eights, he had mentioned that trying to introduce that a little bit and see what it did with the car. And I will never forget that. My mind was blown when we tried it, how well it like just kind of reined in the car a little bit, slowed everything down while you were still maintaining a drift around those 2 pointer cones for the figure eight. And it made, we're doing this in the rain, and it was like nothing. And the first time I did it was, oddly enough, my best one. And then, you know, maybe the course was starting to dry up a little bit or whatever, because the rain did stop and all the other drivers had gone and kind of cleaned it up. But yeah, the left foot braking, I use it a ton, and I think that's a good habit to have. It helps when you're coming in too hot somewhere, maybe while you're still in a mid drift. If you just kind of tap that brake, or even just ride it ever so slightly like I do, it helps keep you in position in a drift still while slowing the car down and maintaining your ability to still drift around that corner. It was super cool to learn that, and I use it a ton since then. So thank you, Ethan, for that. You know, I guess my only complaint, I don't really have any. I guess my biggest thing, and it doesn't really, it's not what these guys did. It's 2.5 hours away, but the fact that the surface does not wear on your tires because it's concrete as much as BIR, as we found out. So we did the Drift 101, 102 this last weekend in August, the last weekend of August here. And then September 1st, we had a Wednesday night up at BIR, where my home track is. And everybody kind of warned me that, you know, BIR is harder to drift. BIR is a lot harder on tires, like 3 times harder on tires, we found out, basically. You know, I ran all day Saturday, granted it was raining, for the Drift 101. And in the morning sessions, where we basically had where we left off Saturday, which was a 3-corner transition drift on Saturday, we started with that on Sunday and basically just used that all day. And then at some point, the instructors blocked off like the inside edges of the corners and the back half closest to the wall and the sweeper. But we were still on those same tires from Saturday, Sunday morning. And then about Sunday morning, midway through, closest to lunch, maybe even right after lunch, we had to switch tires. I have a little bit too much negative camber in the rear of the car right now. I need to straighten that out closer to probably 0. I think it's at like negative 0.8 right now, and I wasn't sure where to put it. I'm really new to this, so I did learn that. The front grip all weekend felt amazing. The rear grip too, we worked on when we swapped tires. We went from a 265 rear, which is just what I showed up with on the car, and we set the tire pressures like 35 all the way around, 34, 35. And the front I never touched. They were great all weekend. They actually worked great at the Wednesday night BIR as well. And then the rears, when we swapped from the 265 after we burned those down Sunday at the 102, I went back and put on the 235s, which I thought were going to change dramatically what the car was going to do, and it didn't. Surprisingly enough, it really didn't. It still had good grip. And then Ethan had mentioned to me too about like keep dropping those tire pressures and seeing where that sweet spot is to find that grip. And I think we got down to like 31, 32 psi, and I was just having too much fun. I didn't want to like unsettle the car anymore, so I just left it, and he was okay with that. He just said, you know, at different courses, different temperatures, different tires, different tracks, that tire pressure is a good thing to mess with in the front and the back, you know. So if the car is pushing a ton, you probably have too much tire pressure in the front. Well, if it's spinning out or sliding too easily and you want a little more grip in the rear, then you want to drop those tire pressures down slowly, and maybe a 2-3 psi increment, just to dial in that grip in the rear. And every tire might be different, so if you're using the same kind of tire and the same tire size, or even real close to the same tire size, you're probably going to have that fine-tuned already. But if you keep changing tire brands or tire types, tire sizes, you know, wheel diameters with different tires, things like that are going to change the way the car behaves in a drift, we learned. And so I've ordered some tires that me and my tire guy Jason at Mobile Tire Pros, we're going to try. We've ran some Riken Raptors on that BMW that I had, and they seem to work okay, but I couldn't quite drift that car the way that I should. I was just used to the higher power cars because I've been driving my C7 for 4 or 5 years now. And my STI, I mean, I didn't drift that car, but it's a higher horsepower car. It made, you know, 550 of the wheels. So I'm used to driving these higher horsepower cars and how they handle and how they react in a corner and stuff, where these low power cars, you got to stab the clutch a lot, and it's just not my driving style. It just didn't really fit me well. I probably could have got it down eventually, but I wanted to drift Corvette. This C5 came up. We went and looked at it. We went and picked it up, and I'm really glad I did. It's been a great car so far. It's had 0 issues. It drives better than I could have imagined, especially on stock suspension still. The thing does great. So I just wanted to kind of do a quick summary here on the things that we learned and what I experienced up there at the end of this video. And just let you guys know, if you're into drifting or you want to get into it, just grab a car. Get like a welded diff or a car that has a good limited slip in it. Obviously rear wheel drive. Manual's preferred, but I do know some guys that do drift automatics. It is possible. You just don't have that clutch kick availability to do. And then you know, make sure it's got the fire extinguisher and the little covers for the socks and stuff for the power steering fluid and the brake fluid and the clutch fluid if you're driving a manual transmission car. And just get out and do it. You need seat time. You know, these 101, 102 events were great because there was very minimal spectators. It was basically just a couple photographers of people that I personally knew that live up in the area that came out to kind of get some shots for me, which I super appreciate. And my girlfriend was there, and she rode with a couple times and loved it, and watched, you know, when it wasn't raining and she could watch comfortably in the weather. And you know, a few of their people that they brought with, the other drivers and whatnot. So there wasn't a bunch of pressure to do well and worry about what the crowd was thinking as you were doing this, which was really nice too. So I don't know how many times a year they do it. This one was brought up to me by another friend that drifts. She brought it up to me saying, hey, you know, you should sign up for this. So we signed up for it and we went for it, and I'm so glad I did. I learned a ton there, and it carried over right into the Wednesday night drift at BIR and basically performed flawlessly there. I mean, I hit a manhole once, which was kind of in mid-drift, and I tried to steer around it and couldn't quite do it, and it flung us around, and like I swear we caught air and everything. It was the fastest I've ever spun around in a car. So we learned to stay away from manholes at BIR, which I should have known already, but it was kind of an accident thing. I was already in mid-drift, didn't want to shut it down, and kind of paid for it. Didn't wreck anything, but definitely sent us for a loop, and my eyes were spinning in my head a little bit after that. But yeah, guys, you know, check those guys out at ND Drift up at Top End Dragway. They're super great instructors. I recommend them to anybody that's looking to get into this. I think everybody that was there progressed throughout the whole weekend. Some more than others. Some are more comfortable in their cars. Some weren't. And that's going to happen. Everybody's different. Every car is different. You know, maybe some people weren't comfortable in the car they were in, or they borrowed somebody's car so they didn't want to wreck it, or, you know, I don't know. That was a very good possibility up there. The only thing that'd be cooler, and it didn't matter for me because we had our own car, but for maybe for somebody that doesn't have a car, would be if they had like a couple loaner cars, a couple BMWs or 350Zs or something, that if you didn't have a car or it wasn't as well prepared, you could rent their car to learn drifting in. And then, you know, maybe try a couple platforms, you know, like if they had a Corvette and they had a 350Z and a BMW or something, or an 86 chassis, that they could let you try, and then you could decide which car you liked best maybe, and it would give you a good direction on what car to go out and buy for drifting. So, but guys, I just wanted to put in this quick summary. I am doing this at home off my webcam, so the quality is probably not quite as good. Hopefully the audio is working on the microphone I got. Looks like everything's recording well, so we just wanted to touch on that summary up there and thank those guys again. You guys rock, and I am totally hooked on this drifting thing now. I wonder how much seat time and autocross and time attack I'll be doing anymore, just because this is so much fun. It is probably the funnest way to drive a car. I mean, you're at the limit, out of control, in control at the same time, just shredding tires on your car, and it's a blast. So guys, with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will probably see you in another video with more drift footage. But until then, you guys take it easy. Make sure again to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.